Right? I think we are live. Hey players, welcome to another live stream here on my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Josh. Every single week I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. This live stream is an open Q&A for you guys to ask me whatever it is on your mind. Jump into the chat, ask your questions. I'm going to be picking them out, answering them along the way. I'm super excited to do these. I've been doing these for a few weeks now and I'm enjoying it. I love it. You guys give me so many cool ideas for videos and you guys ask some really awesome questions that I think will be super helpful for anyone that's watching. So feel free to jump in and ask your questions as well. If you're someone that's new here, I want to give shout outs to all the early birds in the chat. Those are the people that jump into the live stream right from the get-go, so you should see your name pop up here in just a second. But if you're someone that's a regular, if you're someone that's new, jump into the chat and say hi, and I will give you your due shout out. Let's see who we got in here. Let's see. Why does this thing always take so long to load? It should be loading on the screen in just a second. There we go. Let's see. Isaiah is in the house. Good to have you, Isaiah. Yancey Cobian. Good to have you, Yancey. Carlos is in here. Azim the Dream said, "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood." Always jumping in with the Mr. Rogers quotes. I love it. Evan J is in here as well. Yasmin A. Rage Master said, I thought he's going to do a live stream about social media. Rage, I'm definitely going to bring up some social media topics because I did the video over on Tuesday, but I like doing this Q&A format, so I'm going to try to merge the two there. The Juan Speaks is in here. Good to have you, Juan. Let's see who else we got. Let's see. Timik Sebula. Tamik Sebula, maybe I said that correctly, hopefully. How you doing, man? Good to have you. Arian Kapoor, it's me, G, Christian Barron, Tiara Bullard, 1S Liquid, Crafty Strawberry, Stuart Douglas, good to have you in here, Stuart. Pitch Production, Christian Barron, Elder Bob, Evan J. Let's see, did I get everyone? Jalishu's in here, Kickout, Yusef E. Mahdi is in here as well. Adventures Outpost. Hey, Adventures, you said you had a question at the top of the stream, so feel free to jump into the chat and drop it in there. Evan J says, I'm a regular, but I usually watch on my other account. No problem, Evan. Happy to have you as part of this live stream. Anthony Miller's in here. Leo the Beast. What is up, Leo? Good to have you, man. Let's see. Sam James is in here. JJ Plays. All of you guys, I'm super excited to jump in and answer your guys' questions. Like I said, if you haven't already hit the thumbs up on this live stream, the more thumbs up we get, the more it pops up in people's, pages and stuff like that. So definitely do that and get more people on board. Now, look, guys, if you have a burning question, as I'm going through picking questions, I'm probably going to miss a few that are in the chat. If you have a burning question, that's something that's on your mind that you need an answer from me right now. The best way to do that is to use the super chat function, right? When I get a super chat, I hear a fireball come through, I stop what I'm doing and I jump in and answer that burning question. I call them burning questions because, hey, you need an answer right here, right now. So I'm going to stop what I'm talking about. I'm going to jump in and answer your questions. I think super chats are the best way to kind of grab my attention and get me to answer your questions there. But otherwise, I'll jump in and grab some questions from the chat anyway. So guys, that's how the stream is going to work. Jump in, ask your questions. Let's see what you guys got in here. Let me pull this up here. Cool. All right, let's jump into the first question here. Elder Bob says, bro, should you text a girl every day? That's a good question. Nice, simple, straightforward question. Let's really dive into that, right? Should you text a girl every single day? Well, I think it all depends on the type of relationship and connection you have with her. So if it's a girl that you've barely talked to before, maybe you've had some casual conversations here and there, I wouldn't jump into texting her every single day. You got to understand this. When you're texting someone, that's going to help you build the bridge towards talking to them in person and hanging out. So you don't want to treat texting as just a way to this is just a normal passive way for us to chat and stuff and have it not go anywhere. Kickout says that meant Brent Baker won't respond to Cole. Yeah, if you guys catch those references of the names in there, hopefully you do. If you're just texting her every single day with no intention of leading into a hangout, you're going to hit what I consider kind of the peak of texting. I've created a graph. I got to get all my graphs on hand so I can pull them up here. But ultimately, if you're going to be texting that person, you want to text them to have some type of conversation, to have some type of engagement that's fun and interesting, and you want to use it as an opportunity to connect with them better. So if you're going to text a girl every single day, I would say that you would only be doing that if you guys have a real good rapport where conversation just flows with you. If you feel like you're struggling to talk to that person, texting them every single day isn't going to be the solution. What you ultimately want is you want to hit a point where the two of you just message each other just about anything, about life, about something funny that happened, about the crazy stories you want to share, questions you have. You want to get to that point, and you're going to get to that point if you feel like every time you do start a conversation every single day, it's a worthwhile, fun conversation. So it isn't about the quantity of the amount of text you send them. I text them every single day. It really is all about the quality, because you can have a really deep conversation with someone, not talk to them for a few days, and then jump back into another deep conversation. That is going to be way more valuable. Plus, you give time for each conversation to last and stand on its own, which is super important. So I hope that's helpful there. Let's jump in and answer some more. Adventures post said, Josh, I got a big question. I got a girlfriend. Awesome, dude. Happy for you, man. We already held hands and we are only 24 hours in. I want to kiss her soon. When and how should I do it? Ooh, that's a really good one. Thanks a lot, Josh. Okay, so you've been dating for 24 hours. You know, it's a very, very new relationship, but you guys are holding hands. I guess ultimately there's a few things that I guess we have to kind of think about. One of them being, how old are you guys? Are you guys in middle school? Are you guys in high school? You know, where are you currently right now in your life? Because if you're younger, I would say that if you're falling on the younger side, maybe you're in middle school or something like that, I wouldn't focus so much on trying to immediately start kissing, right? Because I think that because you guys are younger, it might be something that's new for both of you. So there's a bit of fear and hesitation around it. As you get older, you might feel more comfortable with it. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Anthony, thank you so much for the super chat. £1 super chat, man. I appreciate it. It says message retracted. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think if you want to go in for the kiss, I think it's a build-up process, right? So if you want that kiss to be something that both of you enjoy, or you're 13, you're in middle school. Yeah, so because you're 13, you're in middle school, you got to understand too, your crush, this might be their first kiss, and it might be your first kiss too. And even if it's not, there still might be some hesitation or fear because it's a new experience, right? Like you're kissing someone, this is something new for you. So I think the way that you kind of lead into it is really focus on talking about how you guys are connected and how you really enjoy the time with her. I would say, honestly, no need to rush into the kissing piece. Spend some time getting to know her better. Spend some time hanging out with her. Like you said, you're holding hands now. Work towards putting your arm around her. Work towards her leaning her head against your shoulder. Start to build up those things. When you feel like you two are comfortable in kind of that physical presence of each other, then I think maybe a week or so, and I'm just giving you a random number, but maybe a week or so in, ask her, say, hey, I really like you and stuff. I wanted to kiss you. Are you okay with that? And see if she's okay with that. Like I said, because you're still younger, you definitely want to have that open communication there because both of you guys are just starting to enter this stage of your life. So I hope that's helpful for you there. Let's jump in and answer some more here. Aaron Kapoor says, hey, dude, what would you say are the traits of a high value man? That's a good question. Mainly someone like me who's in high school and 17. That's a really, really good question, Aaron. So I think that as you get older, the traits that are valued, as you get older, the traits that are valued by your peers and in life start to evolve. So because you're 17, because you're in high school, I would say the traits that are valued there, we'd like to believe that it's things like popularity, but it's really not the popularity piece. It's actually, do you get along well with others? That's kind of the real piece that we should aim for. I think a high value man is someone that gets along well with different groups of people, especially in high school, right? If you can have conversations with kids that are popular, if you can have conversations with kids that are outsiders or kids that are tech geeks or kids that are, stage people and they perform and stuff like that. If you're the kind of person that can jump into conversations with lots of different people, that's a sign of a high valuable man. That's one. I think another sign is that you recognize that you're getting ready to graduate, right? So once you graduate, I think you're moving now into a stage of life where you're working towards finding your path and your purpose. So I think a lot of 17-year-old guys especially, just like hanging out, having fun, aren't really thinking that deep about life. If you're someone that can say, you know what, I want to start thinking about my career and where I'm heading in life and what it is that I want to do. Not saying that you have to know what you want to do, but you're at that point where you're open to trying new things and figuring that out, that's another sign of a high valuable man at 17. You're thinking about your path and your purpose, whereas a lot of other people are not. They just want to drink and smoke and hang out and party. And not saying that those things are not important and valuable in their own way, but I think the signs of a high valuable man is that you're someone that gets along well with others. You're very open. You're very good at communicating with others. You're very good at kind of forming friendships, and you kind of have an understanding what your path and purpose is, starting to move forward in life. Crafty Strawberry says this chat is this all chat is cringy. What's cringy about the chat? I think we got some cool peeps in here. Let's jump in and answer some more here. Oh, Anthony says, I didn't mean to remove the message. No problem, Anthony. It's all good, man. All right, let's see. JJ Play says, hey, Josh, how do you talk to your crush when they hate you? That's another good question. How do you talk to your crush when they hate you? Well, I would honestly say that if your crush hates you, you might want to reflect and think about the reason why that is. Think about what happened exactly. Was it a matter of you doing something or saying something that got them upset or annoyed with you? Did you bother them? Did rumors spread around that you were involved in? Think deeply about why it is that they hate you. Now, you probably know the reason, right? Maybe it's something you did, or maybe it's something you didn't do. And, you just got caught up in a situation that really is not of your own fault. I would say ultimately, I think what you can probably best do is that if you know that your crush hates you, it's probably best to give them space and a bit of time. What you really want to start to establish is that you recognize that whatever went wrong. You take ownership of your part in it, and you're willing to show them that you can kind of now take a step back and have normal interactions with them that aren't going to be weird, aren't going to be awkward, and aren't going to force them in a position where they need to kind of put their foot down and tell you to leave them alone. And the way that you do that is that if you see them in the hallway, if you make eye contact with them, just smile, say, hey, how's it going? And let it be there. Let those be, oh my God, I keep yawning so much. Let those be the basis of your interactions with each other. And do that for a while, because what you want that person to ultimately see is that you're just a normal person. Maybe you made a mistake. We all do. And that you're willing to kind of try to work through it. That's ultimately what you want to show them. Let's see. Stuart Douglas says, do you think there's too much emphasis on being in a relationship in society, especially from fairy tales and companies like Disney? Absolutely, Stuart. I think that's a really, really good question. And my short answer is yes, definitely. My long answer is probably yes, but I think it's a little bit more of a complicated explanation as to why we put so much emphasis on relationship. But I'll give you the more condensed version just from my perspective. I think that the reason why love stories and these quests to find the perfect person is what you find centered in Disney and movies and media and stuff like that is because ultimately, part of our human drives is to procreate, right? It's this survival and this replication piece, right? Survive and replicate. Those seem to be the two things. We want to do what we can to survive. That means eating. That means avoiding danger. That means getting sleep, all these different things. And we want to replicate. We want to have children. We want to procreate. We have sexual desires and attraction to things, others and stuff like that. So these two pieces, survival and replication, tend to be what's mainly focused on in our media, right? Media shows an action story, a hero, a conquest, a survival tale, or it shows a love story, like a romance, a quest to save the princess, all these different elements there. Those tend to be kind of the basis of what those stories rest on. Now, what's important, and I think is really good, is that our society is moving in a direction where people are allowed to have more control over their own autonomy, right? We get to kind of make decisions for ourselves. There's slowly less and less restriction on how we can dress, how we can think, what we have to do with our lives, when we should do it, right? And we have that ability to figure out what's right for us. Now, that's not going to stop the Disney machine in the media, but I think we're getting closer, and this is a progression of history and of time and of culture and society. We're moving closer towards that sense of freedom where we can make those decisions for ourselves, and we're not solely bound to just do what others say or do what our parents say, or kind of we're in that restriction. It depends on the country, and it depends on obviously, I guess, the accessibility and income level and all those things, but that would be kind of my piece to it. There's a bigger conversation to it, but that's a really, really good question. Azim, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Azim says, is there a difference between being confident and overconfident? Good question. The answer is yes. Isn't it okay to be funny and cocky? Oh, isn't it okay to be funny and cocky? Okay. What's the difference between being confident and overconfident? Really, really good question, Azim. So to be confident, I believe, is to recognize that no matter what situation you're in, you will find a way through it. To me, that's a level of confidence. It's believing in your own ability to navigate and figure things out. That's not to say that, it's not to say that you think you're always going to win or you're always going to get things right, but it is to say that no matter what the odds are, you will find a way, right? I think a lot of times, let's say, for example, you want to climb a mountain. And you're like, oh, there's no way I can climb that mountain. I'm going to run out of breath. I'm going to get tired. I'm going to get hungry. I'm just not going to be able to do it, right? That may be a person lacking confidence because they've already decided for themselves what they can't do. But a person who's confident may say, you know what? I think I can actually climb this mountain if I bring a good amount of snacks, if I train beforehand, if I talk to people who've climbed a mountain and get some tips and pointers. I'm confident that I can figure out a solution to get through it. Now, will they climb the top of the mountain? Maybe or maybe not. But they're confident in their ability to do it. So that's confidence, really. Overconfidence is this belief and certainty that you will accomplish it. And there isn't this emphasis on, there's this deep desire and connection to, it's just going to happen. It's almost like you just, without thought or process, you just assume that things will be the way that you want them to be. That to me is the overconfidence piece. So let's apply maybe to talking to a girl, right? Like you mentioned the funny, cocky, funny thing. Let's say you want to talk to a girl, right? You see a girl in a bar. You're like, you know what? I'm going to be confident around her. I'm going to present myself. I'm going to start a fun conversation. I'm going to interact with her. I'm going to do what I can to put myself out there and see if we're a good fit. That to me is confident. An overconfident guy might walk in and go, I'm going to get that girl. That's it. No questions asked. They assume that the victory is already theirs without thinking through the process of what it takes to get there. Right? And just assuming that you're going to succeed, there's this expectation that you've already decided you've met. And it's not always tied to realism. So that to me is overconfidence. And that's where people lose because that overconfidence causes them to overlook important factors that they may need to navigate, tricky situations that happen. But when it comes to cocky and funny there, it's totally okay to be cocky and funny. But you have to understand, like I said, if the cockiness is going into overconfidence where it's a bit of smugness, and it's a bit of disregard for others and their abilities as well, that's where it can be problematic. But that was a really, really good question, Azim. Youssef, no need to spam your question. I'll try to see it if I can, dude. No need to spam it, man. Let's see. Youssef said, what do you do if you can't see your crush? How do you prepare, basically? Okay, if you can't see your crush, let's say you are homeschooled, let's say you are doing distance learning, you don't get to see your crush in school, you have to try to look for, Yusuf, no need to keep spamming, man. I don't want to have to put you in timeout. Okay. What do you do if you can't see your crush? So if you can't see your crush, basically, ultimately what I would say is this, that you have to find alternative ways to communicate with them, right? So that one of those alternative ways could be trying to connect with them on social media, seeing if you have any mutual friends in common that can connect the two of you. Maybe your mutual friends can kind of create a group chat and invite both of you there. Maybe they can set up a meeting for all of you guys to hang out in person and then invite both of you there. Try to look at your options and abilities to communicate with them outside of in-person meetup. I think online is going to be the best thing because most people have social media profiles of some kind, right? And those social media profiles, they tend to post things, they tend to share things with friends. That's a good opportunity for you to insert yourself into the equation. So let's say you can't see your crush in person, but your crush posts things on Instagram. Well, their next post, just comment on that post asking a question. Let's say they post a picture of them hanging out with their friends at the park. You might want to be like, oh my God, that looks like such an awesome park. I don't know if I've ever been there. Where's it located? So a question like that might prompt a response from them. And if they respond, now you have a conversation going. So that's how I think you can get in contact and closer to your crush without having to meet up with them in person if you don't have that accessibility. All right, let's jump in and answer some more here, guys. First, let's take a quick water break. Okay, let's get some more questions. Let's see. GT Rev says, do you know anything about DPDR? And if so, can you give me some tips for recovery? I'm not sure I know what DPDR is. DPDR? DR. Let's just quickly look that up. Depersonalization, derealization disorder. I don't know much about depersonalization disorder. I do know, I don't know if you know Dodie Clark. She's a YouTuber and a musician. She's talked about how she struggles with depersonalization, I believe. So you may want to check out some of her content. I know there's a lot of creators out there, like Katie Morton is another one. I think she's done videos on depersonalization. But me personally, I don't know enough about it to really speak to it. But I from what I have seen and learned about it and stuff, it's, you know, it can be incredibly difficult to deal with sometimes. But I would highly recommend checking out some of those other resources and other people that have actual content videos on it. Let's see. Eric Garcia says, can you still date a girl even though you guys are going to separate high schools? Ooh, a bit of a long distance relationship. Can you make it work? That's a good question. I would say yes, Eric. I think you can date someone if they go to a different high school. It can be more difficult than dating someone that... someone that actually goes to your school. I have allergies, so I've been sneezing and coughing. If you look at my face, there's pimples all over it because I keep touching my face from all the sneezing. But you can date someone from a different high school. The way that I think you make that work is you have to kind of really stay with each other and communicate with each other in a way where you guys update each other on your days and you fill each other in. Because here's the thing. What makes those long distance relationships work, especially if you guys go to different high schools, is you need to some degree to be part of each other's worlds, meaning that it's important to get a feel, an idea for who her friends are in her school, what she's involved in, you know, some of the drama that she may talk about. This kid did this in class, or my teacher did this, and for her to do the same for you. If you guys are open to hearing and learning about each other's worlds, it won't seem so foreign. It won't feel like, oh my God, we're so distant from each other. We're just living two different lives. So you want to kind of mend those two lives together. And another way to do that is her friends from high school to hang out with her and her friends from high school, and vice versa. The more you can kind of integrate your worlds, even if it's not in actual school, but it's outside of school, the easier it's going to be for the two of you to kind of make that work. I know a lot of people back when I was in high school that dated people from other high schools, and it was just a matter of they'd hang out after school together, they'd hang out on the weekends, they had similar friends that all knew each other, even though they were in different schools. That might be one way to really make that work. Let's jump in and into some more. Henry Corius said, poop. Tell her poop. Tell her to poop. Thank you for your contribution. Okay. Let's get some more in here. Yeah, GT Rev says, it's very difficult and makes me uncomfortable to interact with people. I'm going to do a little bit more research on the GT Revs. I'm by no means, I'm no expert, but I'll definitely do some more research and see if I can help in some way and just sharing things that I learn. Peanut is Doggo. So I love your guys' names. You guys have the best usernames. Is it weird for me to follow or request my crush on Instagram if we don't really know each other in real life? This is a good question. Okay, here's my actual honest take on this. So if you're going to follow your crush on Instagram and they don't know who you are, I think you ultimately have to ask yourself, what is the goal in doing that, and what's the direction you want to take it? If your goal is to get closer to your crush and get to know them better, I think that if you're going to follow them on Instagram, you kind of maybe need a reason for it, right? like, look, anyone can follow anyone on Instagram. It's not that big of a deal. But I think that if your intention is to start messaging or talking to her, you kind of need some kind of a reason to have followed her in the first place. So do you know if she has any mutual friends in common? Do you know if you guys maybe frequent the same places? Do you know anything about her that kind of links her into your world somehow? Mutual friends, you guys have the same activities, maybe even you use the same hashtags, something that connects the two of you. I think that if you can find one kind of connection between the two of you, if you follow her, if you ever do decide to comment on her pictures or message her, you can always say, hey, I came across this thing, or I realized we have the same friend in common and stuff, and you seem pretty cool. I wanted to check your profile out. Now you've set a stage where it's not weird, like, who is this person? Why are they following me? How did they find me? They're not asking those questions because you've set a stage that answers that basic question there. Hey, no need to spam, guys. No need to spam. I'm gonna have to put you in timeout. EBDBDBDB. EBDBDBD says, I'm meeting someone on Saturday. What should I ask her? That's a good question, EBDBDBDB. So if you're meeting someone on Saturday, I think one thing that you can take time to learn about them is this. Try to learn what her hobbies and her interests are, right? I use that all the time, and I kind of say hobbies and interests. It sounds, okay, you've said it a million times. What does that mean? So when I say her hobbies and interests, what type of activities does she like to do when she gets home from school? How does she spend her weekends? What does she do for fun? When she meets up with her friends, what do they do? Are there any things that she posts about that she likes online? Maybe she posts about a certain fandom. Maybe she posts about a certain TV show or musician that she likes. Maybe she's part of a community of some sort. Try to learn those different things. Those are the hobbies and the interests. Because if you learn more about that person, it's going to be easier for you to, ask questions about those things because you know they like it, right? Like, if you know she loves Marvel, if you know that she loves Marvel, you can always ask her, hey, what do you think of the new Loki show that's coming out? Hey, what'd you think of Falcon Winter Soldier? Hey, did you watch WandaVision? You can ask her all these detailed questions because you know she likes the thing. So I think that if you're meeting up with her, focus on that. Focus on learning more about her, but that's only part of it. The other part is also sharing more about yourself. The more you can kind of open up, the more stories you can share, the more you can let her into who you are inside, the easier it's going to be for her to feel like there's a deeper connection. If it's just her talking and you're staying silent, she's going to be like, I don't know anything about this guy. It's kind of weird. He just sits there and doesn't say anything. But if you're open and you're sharing fun stories and things that have happened in your life, she's going to feel like, I keep burping. Hey, this is a guy that, is open and vulnerable with me, and that's really cool. So take that route. Let's see. Rage Master says, how to get your crush into the nerd culture. This is a tough one, Rage. Really, really tough question here because, everyone has different fandoms. Everyone likes different things. I think that there's something in nerd culture that exists for everyone, right? Like there's something out there, whether that person loves medieval things, whether that person loves magic, whether that person loves romantic stories, whether they love, hero myths, anything. There's all different kinds of stuff in nerd culture. And I think one way to do it is to kind of learn a little bit about what that person may like and then find something that's relevant or tied within nerd culture. So I'll give you an example maybe. Let's say you are talking to your crush and your crush really loves, I don't know. Let's say they really love Ariana Grande, right? I don't know. Let's say they really love Ariana Grande and they think her hair looks cool and she's such a role model and she's so inspiring. Let's say they think that her music's awesome. You might want to look into things about Ariana Grande and find something that ties to nerd culture. Now, I don't know off the top of my head, but, maybe Ariana Grande has talked about certain messages and themes in her videos and stuff that you can say, hey, Ariana Grande has a song about exes and this and that, and this anime is all about that thing, which is really cool. That might incline them to check it out. So find the connection that can bring them together. Hey, Henry Aquarius, no need to spam, man. No need to spam. If you spam, I have to put you in timeout, man. Let's jump in and answer some more questions. Let's see. Yancey asked the question. Yancey says, what do I do when my teacher gets mad at me for not listening while I'm concentrating on work? I felt so annoyed from it. Yeah, Yancey, if your teacher's getting mad at you for not listening while you're concentrating on work, teachers may not always be aware of where your focus is. And I know in your case too, I know that, it's important for your teacher to know your backstory, know what you're experiencing, know what you're thinking, knowing what you're doing. And the way that you kind of shed some light and let them know that is by talking to them, right? And if not you, then maybe your parent can talk to them. Some people need more time to focus on their work. Some people, it's hard for them to concentrate in class. We all have different learning needs. So if you can express that to your teacher and say, hey, listen, if I'm not paying attention in class, it's probably because of this or probably because of that. The more aware you can make your teacher of what's going on, I think that the easier it's going to be for them to kind of be more understanding and be more respectful along the way. Let's jump in. Guys, like I said, no need to spam in the chat, guys. I'll try to answer your questions. And like Rage Master said, guys, if you have a burning question, something that's on your mind that you need my answer for right here, right now, use the super chat function, guys. That's the best way to kind of put your question front and center, and I will jump in and answer it. But before I get into any more questions, I do want to say this, guys. I want to shout out a few cool things here. Someone had asked, a few of you guys had asked, like, what do I talk to my crush about when I meet with them? How do I have that conversation with them? Here's my solution. I've put together a free guide that has 20 icebreaker conversation starters. This guide, if you go to thejoshspeaks.com/icebreakers, will help you figure out what to talk to your crush about, how to keep a conversation going. And I also give different variations of things you can talk about, right? So I break it down into different sections. One of them is hypothetical situations, where you ask about hypothetical questions. If you were stuck on a desert island, what 3 items would you bring? And other different questions there. So if you don't know what to talk about, this is going to be a guide that's going to be super helpful for you. Like I said, it's a free guide. You put your name and your email, and I'll email it over to you. So check it out, guys. I think this will be super helpful for anyone that struggles with conversation. Also, I want to jump in and say this, guys. Where is it? Here we go. If you guys have a question, I'm not going to get to everyone's question here. That's just the way it is. But if you have a question and you want to just get a quick answer from me, shoot me a text message. This is my phone number, 1718-400-7129. You could put the 1 or not, but text me, guys. I've been jumping in and answering your questions every single night. So if you have a quick question and you've sent me an Instagram DM and I just haven't been able to respond to it, texting me is probably the next best thing, guys. So definitely, shoot me a message there and I'll jump in and answer it. I also kind of send updates and reminders whenever I have new videos and stuff like that. So check it out. And one more thing I want to share with you guys is this. If you guys saw my video that I posted this week, I talked all about social media and the addiction behind it, right? How we can get sucked into scrolling on our phones and just constantly checking it every few minutes. And I kind of shared a few tips on how you can break free from the cycle of being so attached to your phone, of feeling like you need to share every detail of your life, or feeling like you need to, you're constantly comparing yourself to others and it makes you feel sad. Social media can have those negative effects on our lives. But what I think is important is that instead of sharing every waking moment of your life publicly for the world to see, it's probably better if you're struggling with things to talk to a community of people, talk to a close friend, talk to a therapist. And that's exactly what I've tried to do here. I've put together a community called the Josh Speaks Discord. Discord is the platform that it's on. And we have some awesome people on there. Rage Master's on there, Donna the Gamer's on there. A bunch of you guys are on there. And it's just a really great place to make friends, great place to talk about what's on your mind. It's a great place to kind of just get, share your story and get advice and kind of, be around people that are also working on being their best selves. Plus, I'd love to have you as a member of the community. We just passed 800 members. We're getting on the road to 1,000, guys. I'm excited for this. I'm really excited to hit 1,000. But yeah, guys, I'd love to have you as part of our community. Check it out. I love it. I'd love it if you guys joined. And let's get back to some more questions. this back up. Where is it? There we go. First, water break. For those of you guys that are not in the US that can't text it, that's probably not going to work for you. I believe it's US based. Actually, I double check, but I'm pretty sure it's US based. But you can always leave a comment on my videos. You can always DM me on Instagram, DM me on Discord if you need to. I'll try to answer those questions when I can. All right, let's get back into some more questions. Let's see. All right. What if your crush has a boyfriend, but she shows interest in you? Much love, Josh. Love you too, man. Love you too. What if your crush has a boyfriend and she shows interest in you? Yeah. Look, let's answer that on the real here, guys. If your crush has a boyfriend and she, likes you or flirts with you or talks to you, you got to ask yourself this honest question. I guess the question you got to ask yourself is, are you going to pursue this person? Do you want to pursue this person? Or are you going to kind of take a step back? Now, when I say pursue them, let me outline that a little bit. Because I don't mean like, oh, she has a boyfriend. I don't care. I got a dog. Who cares? I mean letting her know what your intentions are. So if she likes you, but she has a boyfriend and you want to date her, tell her, say, look, I like you. I really want to get to know you better, but you're in a relationship right now. Until you break up with your boyfriend, we can't really move this forward. I'm respectful of other people like that, and I don't do that. So you have to kind of decide what it is you want to do. That to me is kind of deciding to pursue her. If you decide, she's in a relationship, she likes me, I'm just going to wait until she breaks up with the boyfriend and then see where it goes. That's okay too. It all comes down to what it is you want to do. Do you want to actively pursue that person or not? Either way, before you do anything, before you actively try to get with her, make sure she breaks up with the boyfriend. It's the most respectful thing that you can do. And I think that it's better to be someone that sets a standard that's positive rather than sets a standard that's negative. So if you pursue her and she cheats on her boyfriend and you're the guy she cheated with, well, look, you're establishing that commitment may not be that important to you because you didn't care about it when she had it with the other guy. So you want to establish strong values. And I think the way that you do that is make sure that she breaks up with them before you decide to get with her. Hey, Leo, so if you were taken off Discord for being under the age of 13, I mean, those are just the policies, man. I know that you said you're turning 13 in 2 months. And when you turn 13, you're welcome back in the community. But I think the moderators are just doing what they should be doing, right? Which is enforcing the rules. If Discord has the policy, no one under 13 can join, and you made it known that you're under 13, I think that they just did what they should have done. But when you turn 13, feel free to rejoin, man. Let's jump in and answer some more. I watch WWE. Yes, sir. Of course I do, Henry. I love WWE, man. I'm a huge wrestling fan. All right, let's see. Jalen says, hi, Josh. I wish I could have taken my crush to prom instead of her current boyfriend. Can I still talk to her? Jalen, this is a tough one, man. This is a real tough one because, I know you've liked this girl for a long time and you've wanted to kind of build out a relationship with her and kind of turn it into something. I get it, man. But the real challenge here is that she's moving forward with her boyfriend. They're going to go to prom together. They're staying happily in their relationship. And when you say, can I talk to her? It's like you have to really, really recognize where things are going to go. Is she gonna be open to the idea of leaving her boyfriend and going with you? It doesn't seem likely, especially after everything you've kind of shared with me in the past. I think you really need to start moving along the stage of letting go of her. I know that's tough. I know it's not something you want to do, but the more you keep trying to invest into that connection with her and seeing that she's staying with her boyfriend, the more it's going to end up hurting you in the long run, man. So that's kind of my take on that. Evan J, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Let's pull up Evan J's question there. Evan J said, hey Josh, back in high school, I liked someone in my friend group, but never got a chance. We recently reconnected over Instagram. What should I do now? Really, really good question, Evan. I love it. So you were friends with this person or, you were in the same friend group, time passed and now you reconnected. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to show that person how much you've grown. Evan, this is your chance, man. This is your chance to kind of show them that, hey, we were close friends then, but I've grown, I've matured, I'm more flirty, I'm more fun, I'm more open, outgoing, more confident. Let that person now see how much you've grown. And if you really like them and you really want to pursue them, because we all had that, right? Like when you're younger, especially when you know, in high school, it's like, hey, you know, like I really like this girl, but she's kind of friends, but with my friends, and it'd be weird. You know, you like people, but you don't think it's the right opportunity for you to kind of pursue them. This is your opportunity now where you've had time and space from them. Maybe you guys have been out of school for a while and now you're back in school. Let them see that confident side of you. Let them look at you and go, wow, Evan's changed in a really positive way. There's something new about him. There's this newfound confidence, newfound sense of being. He's very fun and flirty and open with me, and I like that. So, you know, it can be really hard to go from being just friends to something else if there's no gap. You want the gap, and you've had the gap, so now it's a matter of taking advantage of it, right? If you're just friends with someone, you see them every single day, then one day you reveal your feelings, they're going to be like, that came out of nowhere. I've seen you as a friend this whole time. But if you never had a chance and now you recently reconnected with this person, start by talking with her, by flirting with her. Comment on her pictures, compliment her and stuff. Talk to her, make jokes and stuff, and invite her to hang out. Ask her to hang out. I think that this is going to require you to be a little bit more forward if you want to make something happen. But I think this is your real chance, Evan. Go for it, man. I believe in you. Thank you for the $5 super chat, and I hope that little pep talk was helpful in pushing you, man. I really want you to succeed. Henry says, who's your favorite WWE wrestler? My favorite's Finn Balor. Awesome, dude. Yeah, Finn Balor's awesome. I really love Daniel Bryan, but I know his contract just ended. I love what they're doing with Roman Reigns. I've always been a fan of Sheamus. Let's see. Kurt Angle's probably my all-time favorite wrestler, up there with The Rock. I'm drawing a blank now. A lot of people. I love The Fiend. I love Randy Orton. As far as female wrestlers, like I feel like they're all badass, right? Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch was great. All of them, man. I love them all. Naomi was fun to watch too. I thought her outfits and her costumes and her in-ring style was great. So a lot of good wrestlers out there. Pitch Production says, I just super chatted and I don't know why I didn't appear in the chat. That's interesting. Let me see if I can pull up the super chat. Why isn't it popping up in viewer activity? That's weird, Pitch Production. I apologize. I don't know where it didn't pop up for me anywhere. And when I look at the viewer activity, which shows all the super chats, I don't see it there either. If you did donate the super chat, I mean, feel free to type it in the chat and I'll try to grab it and answer it when I see it. I don't know what happened there. Dwayne is the one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely, man. Dylan Johnson says, I have a date tomorrow and I followed all your steps, Josh. Thank you so much. Awesome, Dylan. Dude, I'm so proud of you, man. Like, look, keep up the good work. You know, like for all of you guys, like, I really want to see you guys succeed. I really, really do. And I know that, like dating is tough and tricky sometimes and can be really nerve wracking, but I honestly think that if you take those small steps, right? And I'm saying this all the time, everything is small steps. If you take those small steps in kind of pushing yourself little by little every single time, you'll start to get more comfortable. It'll become more habitual to you as you practice it, guys. That's the key piece. But let's get into some more questions there. Yeah, Pitch Production, drop it in the chat. I'll try to answer it. I don't know what happened then. It didn't pop up for me. Marcus Ford says, how do you stay so positive? That's a good question, Marcus. I'll be honest with you here. I think that I don't think that my sense of being comes from always being positive, right? Because there are times that I'm doubtful, times that I worry, times that I feel angry, or, we all experience a range of emotions. I think that my presentation, how you guys may observe me as always being positive, really ties to trying to really practice the deeper sense of gratitude, right? That's kind of at the core of it. And the gratitude piece is recognizing just what I have in my life. I have friends that care about me. I have family members. I have a roof over my head. I have the ability to chat with you guys. I have a job that helps me put food on the table. I have all these different things. And when I put that all in perspective and I realize, okay, I have an opportunity here. I have an opportunity to change the world, and I have an opportunity to do that because I don't have to worry about these things. There are so many people that do, right? So many people that have to worry about toxic family members, or how they're going to pay their bills, or how they're going to afford dinner tonight. Like, I'm lucky and I'm in a privileged enough place where I don't have to worry about those things. So my positive sense of being really is tied to my sense of gratitude for feeling so lucky that I have the opportunity to focus on the things that I get to and that I can. So that's kind of where my, I guess, positivity stems from, a deeper sense of gratitude. I think that it's important for us to try to aim and try to practice that as much as we can too. Cool. Pitch Production says, so a few months ago, I exchanged numbers with an online girl I've been friends with for a few years. Due to university and constraints, I couldn't add her then. Now got a crush on her. Still pursued despite time passing. Interesting. So I think my answer is yes. Let me read, there's more to it. And me and her are countries apart and in our 20s, so a bit older. Not sure if you're focused on teens more than adult dating. Yeah, Pitched. I think for me, there's a range. I look at it like the adolescent years of your life, right? And the adolescent years of your life are your teenage years into your young adult years, right? Your adolescence is generally, I believe, up to like 24 or so when you're kind of graduating college. So I look at it like middle school, high school, and college are these formative years where you are meeting people, you're interacting, you're learning, your life is focused on learning and socialization. So I think that those are the important years that I focus on. So even if you're a little bit older, my advice still can work there too, I think. So because you guys are countries apart, that's going to make it a little bit more difficult, right? You know, I think you understand that piece, that if you want to build something with her, you got to actually ask yourself that real question: how can I make this work? Where can I take things with her? How do I grow? How do I get to a point where maybe we can hang out in person? Because time has passed, I think the way to kind of approach that, if you've ever, and this is the question too, it's like, have you ever had a conversation with her where you guys somewhat close before and then you just fell off? Or did you just get her contact info and then you never really talked to her? If it's a matter of that and you've gotten her contact info but you never really talked, that might be harder to turn into something. Maybe one way to turn it into something would be to message her and say, hey, I have this number stored in my phone, but I don't really remember who it is. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and hopefully you can tell me a little bit about yourself. Now, the piece that you tell about yourself could be a fun, interesting story. My name is this. I love to do these things for fun. I'm graduating and I'm pursuing this. And I'm really, I'm just excited for life and what's to come. What about you? Like, lead in with that if you haven't talked to her in a while and you just have the number, because now you're creating a scenario where it's fun to respond, right? Like if someone wrote that to me, I'd be like, oh, cool. How does this person know me? Let me see if I remember them. And I'd share something fun back. So that might be the direction you want to take if you guys have had time pass and you haven't talked at all. Try that little kind of warm up strategy to get them to kind of start to interact back with you. But ultimately, like I said, because you guys are countries apart, you need to ask that deeper question. Cool, I'm going to chat with them and I'm going to text them, but where am I planning on taking this? Is it just, look, if you're just looking for an online relationship where you guys can chat and have fun with each other, then okay. But I guess ultimately, if you are looking for something deeper, you got to ask that question. But really, really good question, man. I really enjoy that one. Let's see. Living in 2021 says, hey Josh, do you know how to improve your sense of humor or just be funny around women, making them laugh, because I have a hard time doing that? Yeah, living in 2021, I have a really, really, I think, solid piece of advice here. What a lot of guys, and I speak from personal experience here, what a lot of guys tend to do is go for the lowest common denominator to try to get the laugh, right? So people wonder like, oh, well, I'm not funny, but if I say something dumb, if I say something outrageous or do something crazy, maybe this person will pay attention to me. And guess what? They will. However, it's not going to be the attention that you want. This is the mistake that I had to learn. When I was younger, I would do and say dumb things in front of girls. Like I'd be with my friends and it'd be a attractive girl, and I'd say something really loud and dumb, thinking, oh, they're gonna find that funny and want to talk to us. And it didn't ever work out like that ever. I think the most that happened was they just thought, wow, this guy's kind of obnoxious, and they walked away. So if you want to be funnier, try to focus on finding humor in everyday life and letting that be kind of the thing to share. So one way to be funnier is to kind of make observations about the world around you. Is there something silly that your teacher does that you can bring up and kind of have an inside joke with that person about? Is there something going on in school or the world around you that you can jump in and kind of share your interesting take on and be funny about it? Is there crazy things that have happened to you in your life, funny stories that you can share? I've done a bunch of videos, like storytime videos here on YouTube, where I've shared crazy stories, crazy things that have happened to me. I did a video all about how I almost got killed and how I fell into an open grave once. Like, these are silly, crazy stories that are engaging when I share them with people. So that might be the angle of being funny that you want to aim for. Telling interesting stories, making interesting observations, rather than falling down the slapstick route and like the equivalent of throwing a pie in your face just for a laugh. Don't take that route. Try to focus more on letting the creativity of you sharing your experience be what's funny. Peter says, stream is going well. I'm proud of you, Josh. Thank you, Peter. I really, really appreciate that, man. Peter. Yeah, dude, I really enjoy these Q&A live streams. I feel like I get to help more people. And I feel like, we just have a good time. But we got 10 more minutes on here, guys. And I'll tell you guys what's happening in 10 minutes. So right after this live stream, I'm going to be going live over on Instagram for the Instagram after party. Some of you know because you've been there before, but for those of you that haven't, I go live over on Instagram. It's our after party. It's kind of more laid back, more chill. Same thing, jump in, we'll ask some questions and answers. But what's cool about the Instagram after party is that I love to bring you guys onto video chat. So if you wanted to jump on, you can always request to chat on the live stream on Instagram, and I'll bring you on. So feel free to follow me over on Instagram at the Josh Speaks is my username there. Right after this live stream, I'm gonna be over there. I'll catch you guys over there. But let's keep this going. Let's get some more questions in here. By the way, guys, if you haven't already hit the thumbs up on this video, what are you waiting for? Hit the thumbs up. We're at 37 likes. We can easily get this to 45 likes before the end of the stream. I think we can get this to 45 likes. So hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Let's see if we can hit that goal. Oh, you're saying Peter. Okay, yeah, I thought it was Peter, but I assumed that maybe the pronunciation was different, Peter, but I guess Peter makes sense. I apologize there for butchering that name. Diego says, thank you so much, Josh. That was really helpful. No problem, man. I'm happy that was helpful in some way. All right. Hi, it's 6. It says, hey, Josh, just joined the live and wondering how to tell when someone is being nice or genuinely likes you. Good question. Because I have a friend and he is funny, but I don't know if that's just his personality or what. Yeah, this is a really, really good question. Sometimes it's hard to tell, is someone flirting with me? Is someone just being funny? Do they want to get to know me better? I think that all of us have different communication styles. Sometimes it could just be the person's personality. Sometimes they could be turning their personality up a little bit and like going a little bit extra to try to get your attention. What it really comes down to is this. Hi, it's 6. What it really comes down to is if you like this guy and you want to get to know him better, he's bringing something to the table, which is kind of his fun personality. Now it's up to you to kind of fill in that gap, that question gap you have of like, does he like me? Is he flirt with me? And I would recommend flirting with him. I would recommend if he's bringing high energy and laughing a lot and just being fun, bring that back too. Because if you act in the same way and he responds positively to it, then you guys know you have the same kind of vibe going on. You're bringing the same energy to the table. And that's exactly what you want to do, right? You want him to see that you like him in that sense, and that's going to help him kind of show it off more to you. Now, if he, let's say, compliments you, let's say he says, dang, you look good today. Let's say he compliments you in some way. You might want to come back with something cocky and funny. Like we were talking about cocky and funny before, and be like, I know I look good. Listen, that's how I am. I look good every day. Like joke around with him there and see how he responds. If he responds back jokingly, then it seems like, all right, you guys are on the same page. You're vibing. Things are going well. So that's, I think, the direction you want to take. If you want to find out whether he's just a friend or likes you something more, you have to also play a little bit as well. All right, we're at 44. One more like, we'll get to 45. All right, cool. Oh, no, we went down to 43. All right, we're back 44. Okay, cool. Let's get some more in here. Velerin says, hey Josh, so I was talking to a girl and we were casually dating for about 8 days. Things were really good and she seemed like she lost interest out of nowhere due to time and not being good with relationships. Yeah, this happens, you know. She came back 3 days later and has been trying to initiate conversation with me ever since. What's going on? Yeah, look, let's look at this from a realistic perspective. Sometimes people get into relationships and they may not be ready for it, right? That's not to say that you are bad or you did something wrong, but it could just mean that they just weren't prepared for everything that a relationship entails, right? Maybe they're dealing with a lot of schoolwork or a lot of pressure at home and they felt like, oh, maybe I don't know this person well enough yet. Maybe I need to kind of like get to know them better. That might be the direction that she's in, that she entered the relationship too quick, but maybe she needed to reel it back and take a little bit more time to get to know you better. That might actually be where she stands. I think that you have to ask yourself this. Do you still want to pursue this girl, right? Do you still like her, or do you feel hurt by what she did? And maybe you said, all right, well, look, you had your chance, goodbye. It seems to me like there may be more under the surface that maybe she hasn't shared or hasn't talked about. But I think ultimately, what you do want to do is kind of continue exploring it if you do like her, because she may just not have been ready for the relationship. Like you said, she felt like it was a matter of time. Like maybe you guys didn't invest enough time, and take it slow, you know, like recognize that if you want to be with her, you may have to operate at her pace, which may be a little bit slower. By the way, guys, I wanted to ask, how's my connection? It hasn't lagged at all or anything, right? Because I've literally ran an Ethernet wire from my computer all the way down the staircase, all the way into the living room, and plugged it into the internet itself. And looking at OBS here, it looks like it's been high and green the whole way through, and I don't think it's lagged at all. So I think I'm going to do this every time I do live streams, and if I do debates and interviews, I'm going to run the wire just for a better connection. But yeah, guys, you know, hopefully it's been good for you. All right, let's get a few more questions in here. Awesome Judgment says, hey Josh, can you give tips on flirting and being playful? That's a good question too. So what are some examples of flirting and being playful? Well, I think one way to flirt would be, the easiest way I think, is to compliment someone, right? So if you see someone and they're wearing a nice outfit, or they changed up their hair, did something interesting, you can always compliment them on that. If they do something really cool, let's say they volunteer somewhere and they post a picture of them like volunteering, that's really cool. You can compliment them on that. I think that complimenting is going to be the easiest way to start to flirt with someone, because ultimately what you're doing is you're acknowledging a quality about them that you really like, and you're kind of making that known. Now, to some degree, I think that we all appreciate people acknowledging things about us that are positive. Sometimes flirting can go overboard, right? Or if people can try to compliment you and flirt with you, you know, out of nowhere, and it can make you feel uncomfortable, true. But I think generally complimenting someone and stuff could work towards your favor. And I think with being playful, the piece of being playful there ultimately is being easygoing, making jokes, being comfortable with just, you know, not taking things always so seriously, and just sharing your opinions, sharing your perspective. I think a lot of times we get very nervous around people that we like, and we just kind of don't open up. But I think opening up actually lets them feel more comfortable around us. So opening up, sharing more about yourself, complimenting them and stuff like that, teasing them, joking around, those are ways I think you could be more playful, more flirty. I've done a few videos, in fact, I'll link it up over here if you check out the replay, where I break down some more flirting tips and techniques you can use, so I would try that out. All right, guys, I'm going to answer one more question, and then you guys know what time it is. Let's see what we got here. Thomas Ho says, hey, Josh, if I want to try pursuing my crush again after rejection because she's not ready at that moment, what can I do? How should I get past the awkwardness and talk to her again in the future? Good question. If your crush has rejected you, because she's not ready in that moment, I think the way that you get past the awkwardness is you want a little bit of time to pass. And I kind of mentioned this earlier. You want a little bit of time to pass so that you can kind of work on evolving and growing in areas where they weren't attracted before, right? That's going to be the key piece. If they didn't like you, they said, I'm not ready, I'm not interested, whatever, go off and do your own thing. Take that time away from them to flirt with other people. Take your time to even ask out and date other people. Work on yourself. Maybe that means exercising or reading more or getting more sleep or eating healthy or just pursuing your hobbies and your passions. Become more diverse in the things that you like and do. Really grow as a person. Because then when you pursue your crush again, you're now coming back as a more skillful person. And that's what you're bringing to the table. It's not to say like go out and like make a lot of money and be successful and rich and stuff. But I think what it ultimately comes down to is you want them to see, wow, this person is getting their life together. They are comfortable flirting and talking with other people, but they like me. They want to talk to me, and that makes me feel special. So take those steps. I think that's how you're going to reapproach it. Give it time, and then when you're ready, come back and message them or talk to them, say hi to them, whatever works for you. Do you have any tips on any like physical waya? You can see someone likes you. Oh, physical ways someone can like you. Hi at 6. I've done a few videos on signs that your crush likes you, so definitely check those out. I think they'll be super, super helpful for you. Just search up signs your crush likes you on my channel, and it'll pop up. The Josh Sings is in here. Welcome to Josh Sings. Good to have you, Mr. Sings. So I think you guys know what time it is. It is now time for our mindful moment. I love our mindful moments, guys, because it's a moment to kind of slow things down and really reflect on some of the things we shared and heard and learned in this stream. I have my bell right here. And, a lot of this stream, I think, rested on kind of questions. A lot of the questions rested on kind of taking some time back, taking a step back, reflecting, and kind of growing as a person before you step forward again. And it's so important to do that. It's so important to take a moment every so often and kind of reflect and say, are the things I'm doing working for me? Am I doing the same thing over and over and not getting the results that I want? I have a video coming up all about that too. The 4 different types of guys and which ones girls are actually attracted to, which I think will be really, really interesting for you guys to check out. But really taking time to reflect on where you need help, where you can grow, and how you're going to find it. So I think all of us can take some time now. If you are by yourself, if you are around people and you're comfortable with it, that's okay. Let's close our eyes. We're going to take a deep breath and we're going to reflect on the many areas and opportunities we have in our lives to grow. Because every day is a new opportunity for you to continue to learn and grow. So let's close our eyes. Let's think about the horizon and what it is we want to accomplish and how much we want to grow as people. And keep on working on being our best selves. Take 10 seconds. Let's warm up the bell. Let's warm it up. Thank you guys for that moment. Thank you, Azim, coming in last seconds at the buzzer with that super chat. Let's jump into Azim's question before we head over to Instagram. Azim says, in the past, you said not to be too direct, but also don't hide your feelings. So it's a little confusing. Yeah, I can understand that. Also, if you voice chat instead of text, is that trying too hard? So my answer to the second question is no, I don't think it's trying too hard if you voice chat. I think voice chatting is a good alternative to texting because what it does is it allows you to add a little bit of inflection of your own personality into the message. Plus, you might be able to kind of get through things quicker if you have a quick story to tell. And you can kind of be a little bit more fun and engaging with what you send through voice chat versus text. So honestly, I would say switch it up. Videos, voice chat, text, switch it up every so often. But to the first part, when I said don't be too direct, but also don't hide your feelings, when I say, here's what I think. When I say being too direct, it's mainly a matter of when you choose to be direct, right? So if you just meet someone and you come up to them and say, hey, I think you're hot and I like you, right off the bat, that might put them back a little bit. They may be like, whoa, I don't even know you. That's kind of weird. Who are you? So you're being too direct there. But let's assume you've been talking with that person for a while. You've been flirting with them. You've been opening up. The two of you have been connecting. And then you say, you know what? I think you're really hot and I like you. They're going to be like, whoa, like goosebumps, right? Because I connect with this guy. We get each other. We laugh, we joke, we flirt with each other. There's fun, there's tension. Your phrase and your feelings is going to hit differently later on. So when I say don't hide your feelings, I think ultimately you want to show a person that you're interested in them. And when I say interested in them, I mean in the sense that that you want to get to know them better, that you want to talk to them, you want to learn about them, that level of interest, that you're essentially qualifying them in the beginning. There's something about you that I really like and I want to get to know that more. That's the level of interest. But you don't want to just outright say, hey, I like you, I want to go out with you. I look, some people take that route and it works for them, but I think it's not setting yourself up in the best way possible. That's kind of what I would say. So I hope that's helpful, Azim. Hey, Azim with the second super chat. I'll jump in that in a second here. Yasmin says, Josh, how often do you meditate? I meditate every single morning. First thing I do when I wake up, I come to my room, set up my meditation pillow. I put on Calm, the app Calm. It's a meditation app. You guys should definitely check it out. And I kind of do the daily calm meditation every single day. It's about a 10-minute morning meditation. It's wonderful. I love it. Azim, let's get into your second super chat question. It should pop up in a second. Azim, there it is. Azim says, how can I not be afraid of rejection around people when it comes to girls when I know rejection is normal but still kind of feels humiliating, right? Yeah, Azim, really, really good question. Here's the thing about rejection. If you're not used to it, it's going to sting. But the more you can get used to it, the more you realize that a person rejecting you is not a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of how they feel. This is something that you can only learn really through the experience of it, right? Like if you walk up to a girl and you're like, hey, I think you're cute. You want to go grab coffee? And she says, ew, no. That doesn't mean that you are a disgusting creep. It just means that she didn't feel comfortable with the way that you approached her. Right? So that might mean, okay, she didn't appreciate that approach. I can change up my approach. I can try something different. I can try to communicate differently before I do it. You as a person, as just a human being, are not bad or wrong just because you got rejected. A lot of times it does rest on how you go about doing things. So the more you kind of talk to people and the more you kind of essentially get rejected and experience it, the less you kind of internalize it and think, I'm bad, I'm a bad person, I suck. You're going to then start to say, okay, that person just didn't like how I did it, and that's okay. I'll find someone who did, or I'll change up my style and try something new. So I think that you're really only going to get over that humiliating feeling if you really, really step it up and practice. Communicating, talking, and pursuing people, Azim. I think that's the key. I always forget how to pronounce your name. Johns, I always forget. I apologize. Said, thank you for the £2 super chat. Said, boo. Boo to something. I don't know what the boo is to, but boo to that. But yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, guys. I appreciate it. Like I said, thank you guys for the live stream. Let's see what we got. We're at 50 likes. You guys exceeded the 45 number. So thank you for the 50 likes there, guys. So it's time to head on over to Instagram for the Instagram after party. Thank you guys all for the super chats, for the engagement, for the conversations, for all the questions, guys. Love doing these live streams with you guys. And if you have questions, you know how to reach me. So thank you guys again. Let's pull it up here. For anyone watching the replay, I'm going to link up some relevant and helpful videos right there based on what we talked about in this live stream, guys. So check it out, and I'll catch you guys next time. As always, love and peace. See you guys then.